Hi,
Okay.
viewers. This is Upesh Jain, founder and host of the Exec Talk channel, here with Dilip Saraf, LinkedIn's top career coach. In this series, Discuss with Dilip, we talk about a variety of topics that will benefit you in your professional and personal life. The topic today is promotion strategies or how to get promoted. What we'll talk about is, uh, what all do you have to do to get promoted at work? So, Dilip, everyone wants to get promoted, get a promotion. Why do people get promoted? Or why would a boss want to promote someone? What are the criteria?
I think that's a very good question. I think most people have a mistaken notion of how promotions come about. They think that if they work hard and if they do everything this boss tells them and do it well, they should get promoted. And my view has been I worked with almost 8,000 clients. And what has worked is that you need to have a plan to get yourself promoted beyond just doing the hard work and delivering everything that's expected of you and so forth. So, what you have to understand, depending on what level you are at, for example, if you're at an IC level going to become a manager, there's one set of rules that you need to follow. But let's say you are a senior director looking for a VP level promotion, there's a different set of rules. But there is certain amount of consistency across or commonality across those rules. So let me lay that out for you.
Mhm.
So let's say that you are fairly new in the organization as an IC, has a good record, 4 or 5 years, made good contributions, and you want to become a first level manager. Uh, the best approach, and this is one of the common themes, is not to wait for your annual performance review and say, boss, I've done well. When are you going to make me a manager? You need to have that conversation in the previous year before you enter that year, at the end of which the APR takes place, the annual performance review, and lay out certain parameters for your boss and get them identified by your boss and let them see how they calibrate you with that intent that you've shown. And then let them tell you that, look, I want you to take some lead on a new project. I want you to organize the project and execute it. You've done your part, but you've not run the whole project and delivered an end outcome. So those are the kind of parameters your boss will lay out for you.
Mhm.
And you then, during the year, ending into the next APR, you do at least that and then some additional things
Mhm.
that will reinforce your ability to not just do it one time, but you show that consistently that you are capable of doing that and have that potential. So when you go to the end review at the end of that year, you can say that, look, you wanted me to take on one project. Not only have I taken that on, defined it, organized it, delivered it successfully, but I have done these three additional things in line with that intent that you showed me. And now you made a fairly strong case for your management potential. And then it makes easy for your boss to promote you.
Mhm.
Now, at that level of promotion, your boss doesn't need any additional affirmations from his colleagues, his peers, and so forth, because he has that discretion to promote you from IC to a manager. He
Mhm.
may talk to his boss or her boss, but
Mhm.
that's the extent of it. But as you move up from, let's say, senior director to a VP, there's a lot bigger stakeholder system that has to say, yeah, we see him as a VP. I think he's or she's worth a promotion. So at least at the first level, you have to make this work proactively and not wait for the APR and say, I've done a great job.
Mhm.
When are you going to promote me? So I want to make sure that people do this at least a year ahead of their need to see themselves getting promoted. And I don't know if that makes
Mhm.
sense to what I'm saying to you or what
Yes.
I'm saying to your audience. People
Yeah.
just walk in and say, why haven't you promoted me? I've done this for 3 years. That's a wrong approach. You need to set it up, you need to manage expectations, and you need to exceed those expectations.
Right.
And
So
that's
typically, in addition to what you just said, um, or actually just kind of distilling from what you've said, you're basically saying there's a scope of work that you were assigned to, and you have to push the boundaries of that scope of work, go over and above what was defined for you so that you're ready for the next level, right? And
correct. Correct,
in terms of
exactly. And
whether it's
I
more
would go a
project.
step further, and maybe you implied that
Yeah.
is not that you ask for more work.
Hmm.
You identified work that needs to be done that your boss has not spelled it out for you.
Right.
In other words, you need to show initiative that says,
Hmm.
I see this problem in the workflow that is causing customer grief. I
Hmm.
would like to address that in addition to my regular job.
Right.
That's the difference.
And then I think the distinction at the lower level, lower grade level versus the one from senior director to VP is that in the case of the lower level promotion, the boss can probably do that on his or her own. They can probably take that decision. Of course, they need to have their management buy-in. But at a VP level, it's more of a 360 buy-in from
Correct.
peers and other VPs, and uh, the fact that they'll be able to perform in conjunction with the rest of the team.
Right. And to extend that point a little bit further,
Hmm.
it's merely not enough for, let's say, at a VP level promotion to show initiative in taking a new task. You
Hmm.
need to become much more visible at least two levels above that. For example, your SVP and EVP should know who you are and your work.
Hmm.
They should know you by the first name. They should know the work you've done. And that requires, on your part, not just doing great work, but promoting that work,
Right.
right? Not in a bragging way,
Hmm.
but you need to find ways to make that work known, and not just the work, but the impact of that work to the business.
Right.
And you need to find ways to articulate that forcefully without being arrogant about it. And that's a skill that a lot of people don't have. And I think then they get disappointed because they didn't get promoted for a VP level or whatever it is. So as you keep going up in the organization, it requires you to have a lot of ecosystem support
Hmm.
and a consciousness of what I call your own PR work
Right.
in a positive way, not just in a promotional way, but in a positive way. But good work is the prerequisite. I mean, they call it sine qua non. That means that's necessary but not sufficient. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. So Dilip, what are some of the basic steps that the employee should take or do? I think you briefly touched upon them, that you
Yeah.
don't have to wait till the annual performance review to bring that up, but you kind of have to prime the pump, start.
A review before that first
Yeah.
that you want. In other words, in the previous review, you bring it up and say, by the next APR, I would like to see myself getting promoted. Let's map it out, and what do I need to do to get that accomplished? That's how you do it.
Okay.
Then you're not walking into a surprise.
Okay, that's great. Any other tips or comments on this topic, Dilip?
The only comment I make, having seen a lot of VP level promotions, including from VP to SVP or corporate VP, is that you have to be consistent in doing and delivering. That's a given. But then how you find ways to get that known to a broader audience, not just within the company, but even outside the company. For example, if you went to a forum or a press event of some sort, and if your name appears in the clippings of press releases and so forth as a participant in that forum, for example, you need to bring that into your company newsletter and say, James Smith attended this, and he was quoted as having led this initiative on generative AI or whatever it is that the press clipping says. And you need to put that into your company newsletter, right? And so you have to be conscious about this PR aspect of your work. And most people focus so much on their own hard work that they forget this part. And my point is that is equally important, and doing less hard work and doing some paying attention to this PR work can pay you big dividends. I'm not saying slough off your work, but I'm
Right.
saying don't ignore that dimension of your work.
So this is over and above the baseline, the work.
Over and above the baseline, yeah. It's necessary but not sufficient. And what is sufficient is this ecosystem play, I call it, including outside media and all of that stuff for especially executive level promotions.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Dilip, for your insights on this topic, and I hope my viewers benefited from it. Next time we will be back with another interesting topic.
Great. Thank you very much.